Dear brothers and sisters, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you again to this wonderful day. And I know the Lord has been very, very wonderful, and He has actually taken good care of you during this time. Now, today, I'm actually thrilled to actually, share with you a video of President Russell M. Nelson as he was actually giving remarks to a national association for the advancement of Colorado people. It's called for the advancements of the Colorado people. This was a convention which was 110th annual national convention for the National Association for the Advancement of Colorado people. And this was a great honor because this is a state thing, the state of Colorado, and they had invited President Nelson to actually give his remarks during this day. And listen to what President Nelson had to say. Please welcome.
My dear friends, I am humbled by the invitation to be with you tonight. For more than a century, the NAACP has been devoted to improving lives and elevating society. You have done much to protect and lift countless individuals. Your lofty ideals are indeed inspiring. Last year, leaders of the NAACP, led by Chairman Leon Russell, and members of the National Board came to Salt Lake City. My two counselors and I, the First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, had the privilege of meeting with them. Our time together was marked by a feeling of mutual respect and a desire to link arms to see if we could capitalize on our respective strengths and help more people by working together. At a press conference following that meeting, I explained that a fundamental doctrine and heartfelt conviction of our religion is that all people are God's children. We truly believe that we are brothers and sisters, all part of the same divine family. At that same press conference, President Derek Johnson and I issued a joint invitation for all people, organizations, and government units to work with greater civility, to eliminate prejudice of all kinds, and focus on important interests that we have in common. Simply stated, we strive to build bridges of cooperation rather than walls of segregation. As recorded in the Book of Mormon, which we esteem as scriptural companion to the Holy Bible, the Savior invites all to come unto him and partake of his goodness, and he denies none that come unto him, black and white, bond and free, male and female, all are alike unto God. May I repeat that last phrase, all are alike unto God. You who are gathered in this room strive to make this heavenly truth an earthly reality. I commend you for it. And yet we all realize that as a society and as a country, we have not yet achieved the harmony and mutual respect that would allow every man and woman and every boy and girl to become the very best version of themselves. The cure for what ails us was prescribed by the Master Healer, Jesus the Christ. When the taunting Pharisee challenged him to identify the greatest commandment in the law, the Savior's response was most memorable and brief. It was filled with truth that leads to a joyful life. His instruction was first to love God with all our hearts, and then to love our neighbor as ourselves. Your President, Derek Johnson, recently demonstrated that second great commandment while receiving a public service award on behalf of the NAACP. It was presented by Brigham Young University's Management Society. President Johnson acknowledged that he had been asked why he would accept an award from members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. His response, because it's our neighbor. That was a profound response. We are all connected, and we have a God-given responsibility to help make life better for those around us. We don't have to be alike or look alike to have love for each other. We don't even have to agree with each other to love each other. If we have any hope of reclaiming the goodwill and sense of humanity for which we yearn, it must begin with each of us, one person at a time. I have watched the influence of just such a person in my hometown of Salt Lake City, Utah. The Reverend France Davis, pastor of the Calvary Missionary Baptist Church for 45 years, has devoted his life to the ministry. Active in civil rights movement, he participated in the March on Washington, D.C. in 1963 and the Selma to Montgomery March in 1965. His quiet dignity and tireless advocacy for unity have greatly enriched the fabric of our community. Many years ago, I had the privilege of hosting Reverend Davis at a performance of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now, we are quite proud of the Tabernacle Choir, which has been recognized literally the world over. When the concert ended, I asked Reverend Davis what he thought of the program. It was very good, he said, graciously, but it was lacking in spirit. He said, if you want to experience spirit in music, you come to my church. So my wife and I did just that. And he was right. The energy in the Calvary Baptist Church choir was something to behold. Well, while our taste in music might differ, I must say that he and his church have enhanced our city in a most tangible way. True community begins with just such relationships, with loving our neighbor and honoring and serving each other. This is the spirit behind the cooperation shared now by the NAACP and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As you may know, the relationship between the NAACP and the church did not begin with meetings last year in Salt Lake City. A year earlier, Derek Johnson met with my ecclesiastical colleague, Elder Jeffrey R. Holland of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. They were in Jackson, Mississippi, visiting the home of the martyred civil rights hero, Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers is a true patriot. He died in the cause of freedom. President Johnson and Elder Holland stood and spoke together in the NAACP office, housed in the building where Evers once worked as an NAACP field officer. After that initial visit in Mississippi, a plan took shape to refurbish the Medgar Evers office in order to preserve further his important legacy. Soon, local members of the NAACP were working with members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to redo the walls, lay new carpet, and make other enhancements. In 1963, after Medgar Evers' death, mourners eulogized him with these words from 1 John 4:20, quote, "If a man boasts of loving God while he hates his own brother, he is a liar. He has seen his brother and has no love for him. What love can he have for the God he has never seen?" Close quote. This first great commandment, to love God, is inexorably yoked to the second great commandment, to love our neighbor. Together we can extend this love to all God's children, our fellow brothers and sisters. As president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I pray that we may increasingly call each other dear friends. May we go forward doing our best to exemplify those two great commandments, to love God and to love our neighbors, to love each of God's children, arm in arm and shoulder to shoulder. May we strive to lift our brothers and sisters everywhere, in every way we can. This world will never be the same. My dear friends, I thank you. May God bless you, one and all.
So, dear friends, that was President Nelson addressing that group, the NAACP. I actually don't know which group is that, but for those who know, please, you may educate us. And I'm there, but one greatest message that was actually laid was actually be a good neighbor to your neighbors. Be actually good neighbors, because we cannot say that we love God and we hate our brothers and sisters around. So that is an exemplary that the church is showing, and the leaders of the church are also showing on how we can be actually good neighbors. And I know if we keep that, it's a principle that we can learn as we strive forth even to keep these precious principles. Otherwise, thank you very much. God bless you and see you next time.